back now. Alrighty, right. Hello and welcome back to some more Minecraft Let's Golden Age. Episode 1000 and, you know what, I cannot even remember the number. I have to keep track of that number one day. But we're past 1k by quite a bit now. We're almost at 1.100. So not too bad, I say. Not too bad at all. So, last episode, what did we do last episode? Ah, yes. We started working on the docks last episode. That's actually turning out not that bad, to be honest. I do really like this little dock here. It's really You know your name? You Dirk? Okay. You know what? Dock worker. Dirk. Dur. Your name's Dur. There you go. You now work here. Alright. So, let me actually fix this bit here. We're having a problem here with this, what do you call it, dock bit here, and that's trying to figure out, like, how this will fit. I think the problem would be to probably get rid of this. That would probably make it a little bit larger. And then make it come in by one block. There's a stingray. I'm not getting Steve Irwin over here. There we go. That is actually not too bad, actually. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out like how we would go from here to the next bit. You got a good idea there? I do feel like that could be a good idea. Making it kind of like that. But that probably will not look the nicest. So I'll probably make it a 2x2 and then make it come out by around there. That kind of just makes it a little bit larger, and also I can actually start to see a second dock right here. Watch out for that shark that's under there. But I can actually see a second dock being formed here. So let us actually get started on building said dock. There we go. Not too bad at all. Okay, it's not coming after me. I thought it was about to come after me there. But nope. We are safe for now. Alright, there we go. How big was that dock over there? By 2 blocks? I think I'll make this one 3 blocks, I'm being honest. Yeah. I feel like that would just make it a little bit more unique compared to the other one. Yeah. That is probably the best idea. I do need to sort out the underwater thing. We have quite a lot of products that have ended underwater. Definitely not from when I was building this originally. That was terrible. Like, we have all of these crafting tables. I probably have so many other crafting tables down there. I wonder how many crafting tables I've actually made in this series. Like, if any of you want to go through my 1000 episodes and, you know, go on a little bit of a tasking of marking down how many times I've made a crafting table, let me know. It's probably over a few K. I would check my statistics, I tell you, but the problem is my statistics are messed up. It is really annoying, to be honest. I kind of wish that they were not messed up, but certain stuff like, you know, flight and all that is messed up because I have a glide and dodo that flies. So technically that counts as flying, so it makes it longer. But the problem is I can't actually check, you know, if that's fully 100% true. That should actually be true, but my statistics are absolutely broken. And that's the problem with my world, is that statistics will never work. Like, I'd let it download for you now to see if it actually works this time. This has been a problem that I've had for about I think it's probably been the entire series, yeah. I don't think I've ever got my statistics to work. And I hate that that's the thing, you know. Let us see, and still nothing. I think I've left it for 30 minutes before, and it's not actually loaded. Let me know, is that like, you know, a bug that you have in your world or something? Like, I'm on 1.12.2, and I do feel like it should not have that problem, but it does, and I really hate it. Do I go with the stone bricks? It's really a hard point. I'm really, you know, like thinking now. Do I go with these or do I go with this now? I was thinking about the, you know, smooth stone, but then I saw this in the wall and I started thinking that could work. Or I could do a mix. Let me know, should I do a mix between the three of them? I could do, you know, the, what do you call it, andesite and smooth andesite, the, what do you call it, polished andesite, that's it. And stone brick, and I think I could actually fit in cracked stone brick and maybe mossy stone brick. But that does mean I have to go and harvest a bit more vines for that, which kinda sucks, but nonetheless, let's move on. You know, I don't want to end up like last episode now, talking about all these details. That kinda happened last episode, I do apologize. I choked. Oh. Yeah. I choked bad there, I do apologize, gang. I laughed and then choked on my own air. My eyes are watering. Wait 1 second. My eyes. Oh, that was a terrible choke. Almost died there. Wait 1 second. You know, I laughed at my own joke and then I almost choked myself. I'm probably gonna take off my glasses. I am heating up like a tomato right now. I might actually open up my window just a tiny bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. That is a little bit better. I do apologise for almost dying on you there. That felt terrible, I'm being honest with you. I felt like, that felt terrible. Alright, put the gunpowder in the backpack. Egg can go in the backpack. I'm actually thinking about making an automated, what do you call it? A automated... I forgot, I took down the crane. That's why there's nothing holding it up. I was like, looking at that for like a couple seconds there, trying to figure like, what is going on there? And then I realised, oh yeah, I took down the crane. I took down the crane ages ago. Alright, put that in the backpack, and I'll put that in the backpack. Alright, let us grab these. There we go. Oh, let's grab that. Alright, so we're working with... I think I could probably fit in there. That. And then make it go... I think I could make it go across a bit more. Oh, that is really chilly. I think I might close my window back. Ooh. I do apologise, I opened up my window and it was the coldest air like I've felt in ages. It'd just be too cold in there. Be too cold. Alright. So I have this one block here. And I had to try and figure out what we're going to do here. I could make it a kind of like what I said I was not going to do, and that is a few blocks in between, and then a few blocks in between, and then a few blocks in between, for like a little while. I think that probably is the best idea if I'm being honest. But I guess I could make it a little bit longer. So that's 1, that's 2, that's a 3, that's a 4. And there we go. I'm actually out of our first stack of spruce wood logs. That's very surprising. I'm actually gaining back, you know, pretty good supply of dark oak by doing this. I might actually use some of the dark oak to kind of darken some of the pillars that you're seeing. So certain ones might change over time. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and it'd be right in front of this block right here. And I'll make sure all the way down. 2 there, and I'll come back and put some dark oak there later on. I'm definitely going to have to add some lights on top of these now. I don't want mobs spawning about me knowing. Also, my throat is sounding a little bit bad now due to that cough. It kind of made me, you know, cough and splutter a little bit inside my throat. Okay, that's a little bit better. Alright. 1, 2, 3, and that is a 4 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect, actually. Perfect. I'm starting to see something coming through here. I can make another dock here, which is going to take me to the bottom of the valley. It is actually built on sand. You know, I do wonder how feasible some of my builds would be in the real world. A lot of them would definitely not survive. Especially if you're looking at this post right now, you see that it's built on sand. A lot of cities are actually built on sand, or, you know, soft ground. That causes it to basically sink into the ground. Let's see. I was actually watching a video on one of the historical cities that wanted to build a ginormous dome. If you can guess the one that I'm talking about, you can guess the one that I'm talking about. Okay, I'll tell you. It's Berlin. When silly mustache man was in charge, he wanted to build a big dome. The Great Hall. Which, they built a testing thing to see how much, you know, was needed. They drilled a hole down, they filled it with concrete, and it was kind of like, you know the little toothpicks thingies, the picks, the little tiny golf club things that you put in the ground. It was kind of like that, if I'm being honest. They put one of those in the ground, it was concrete, it had a bunch of stuff inside, so that they could research how much it sinks. And they did not really get all of that until the end, well, way after the war actually, I think it was the 1950s. Which they learned, no, it can't be done because Berlin is built on soft sand, dirt. A sand, dirt, and clay kind of soil. The name Berlin might actually come from a Slavic word, basically meaning swamp. Which is kind of funny if you know your history. They would have had to change Berlin's name. Alright. That's actually not too bad, actually. That is not too bad at all. This is actually starting to form out very nicely, I would say. And I'm actually not wasting as many blocks as I was thinking I was going to actually waste, if I'm being honest. There we go. And then we'll have that there. Oh, this is really starting to, you know, pan out as being something quite nice, if I'm being honest. Alright. Hmm. What's the southern region like? Okay, so I still have to fix a lot of those rivers up. Yeah, we really gotta have to fix a lot of the stuff and then go over to Log Town. Let me know what we should do with Log Town. It's a snow village, you know, kind of design. And I built an entire, you know, building out of thingy. I am actually building the entire... I'm hoping to build an entire town out of snow. I tell you, you know, after that cough, it's just causes, you know, like, you know, my nose to become, you know, singing when I'm breathing and speaking. It's just, you know, making me sound a little bit terrible. Maybe it's not sounding it to you, but it sounds like it for me. And it's really annoying. But I'm planning on building a town out of snow. And this was actually going to be one of the main buildings in the centre of town. Actually, I do have one of the squares already, you know, finished off of the, you know, what do you call it, roofing. And then I have to do that with the rest of them. And then I was planning on more buildings going all the way around, kind of just slowly branching out, and eventually just take it over as much of this land as possible. That's the best, you know, translation I could give you. And then we do have the other town that I've actually decided to move down all the way over here. Yeah, it's further away, but it will probably be nicer than what I originally planned. And then we do actually have to go over and make a path in through here and through the small ice spike biome over this river and to Santa's village, which I am still building. I still actually have to finish off a lot of the details of it. I did actually have quite a lot of ideas, but my idea box, you know, everything that, you know, I put in, like, oh, I'm gonna do it here and all this, it goes all the way to the very top. And the problem is I work from the bottom of the, you know, page, and it's really annoying because I keep adding more stuff into it. Meaning I don't get to the, you know, stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. Which kinda sucks, if I'm being honest. Alright, let's get back to work it out. I'm getting a little bit off track here. There we go. That's actually not looking too bad there. That is a shark that's stuck in a little tiny river bit. Alright. I'm actually thinking about expanding the river. What do you call it? Docks. Just a little bit more. I do actually feel like if I break this here... You in the water now? Don't try and bite me. You know, I hate that sharks are made out to be such bad animals. Just because of Jaws. It really annoys me, that one fact. Like, dolphins are more, you know, crazed killers than, you know, sharks are normally. As I said, you know, they're like underwater dogs sometimes. Not saying that you should go up to it, you know, I'm just being honest, you know. I kinda hate what, you know, certain movies made them out to be like. This might actually look... Really? Did you see how fast that thing zoomed at me? Let's see. 3 blocks. And do I expand out 3 blocks again? That would be there. And then have it come in by 2 blocks. And then have it go in by 2 blocks. Excuse me, fish. I have to remember I have such a bad punch. I think it's from my, where is it? Somewhere around here. Oh, I could just click this little tiny button. Never noticed that. Never noticed that. Excuse me. I have to watch out in case I accidentally punch one of the animals back at the animal farm while I'm transporting it, man. I don't want to accidentally kill it. Yeah, that's actually not looking too bad, actually. Yeah, I think that's looking quite nice, actually. It's got to take a little bit more extra wood, but to be honest, it does actually look quite nice. And I do feel like turning this into a proper, like, you know, far out dock for this little bit here. This is the other post, and it goes out by 2 blocks. Excuse me. There we go. That's actually not looking too bad at all, if I'm being honest. It goes out by 2 blocks, and probably can do a bigger, you know, ship for this one. Maybe a medium ship. I have to always make sure that, you know, boats can actually fit in the river. This one was not too bad, but I built it, you know, in a certain direction. Sorry. My finger got, you know, a little bit tired, and then it just zooms out and then zooms back in when I have put more strength into it. But I do feel like I could fix up this boat and maybe turn it into something nicer. But I think we better get started on actually fixing up the area that we're currently working on. That means that I need to find a chest to dump some of my junk in so I can start grabbing the wood that I'm actually needing. Ah, here it is. Alright, now let me shove some of this in here. I'll keep the coarse dirt on me because I need that for a entirely different build. Where's my white backpack? Can I just... There we go. That's a little bit organised there. I'll actually keep that on me. And I'll go and put my coarse dirt and dirt in there. That actually looks quite nice. Alright, so let us actually get started on grabbing the wood that we need and the blocks that we need. I'm actually thinking about just doing the full stone bricks now, and then changing it over with, you know, the certain mossy, cracked, and the andesite that I want to add later on. Oh yeah, I never finished off this bit of the river. I could make it go like this, and then I could bring it back in a little bit more, but yeah, I should probably do that. But I will give it a little bit more extra breathing room, that's what we'll do. A little bit of lag there. There we go. That's about 2 blocks. I think I might actually expand it to 3 blocks. Just so it kind of looks a little bit symmetrical, but also so it's not too shortened. There we go. That's a little bit better now. Alright, and I think I might just extend it to the end over here where this clay is. There we go. Yeah, that's not too bad, and I could just start doing all the stone bricks along the edging. Actually, if I'm doing it like this, I could actually bring it down by 1, maybe. Should I bring it down by 1 block? I might actually bring it down by 1 block. I do feel like it might actually look a little bit nicer if I actually did that. That is a very hard decision, if I'm being honest. I see it being very, you know, nice if I did that. I could actually do fencing. That's actually not too bad. Poop. This is a problem that I normally have, is that my pickaxes go too fast for some reason. I don't know what has caused it, but every time that I update my video, something bad happens with my, you know, world. It's really annoying. That's what I'm saying. It's really annoying. If any of you know how to fix, you know, a problem like that, let me know down below. Was I going to go inwards or outwards here? Outwards actually seems a little bit nicer, if I'm being honest. I think it might actually look quite nice if I did it like this. but I did build everything up one block a little bit higher. Oh, this is a hard decision. Do I want it to touch the water or not touch the water? Or I could bring this down, you know, to the bottom of the river bit here, and then have this bit come up. That's probably a better idea. Have this bit a little bit lower. I'll actually just extend it there, and then this bit just starts going down because it connects up with something that's here. As that, we can ignore this little tiny bit until the very end. I'm just joking. Alright. We'll come back to that very soon, actually. Alright, we're gonna go like do all of the stone bricks. I do really like the clouds in the distance. I really do want to get a cloud mod or a sky mod. So if any of you have any suggestions on mods like that, let me know down below. Is that the right idea? Making it go outwards like that? I think it will go with that. Oop. Got a little bit blinded there because I'm swimming in the water. It does a swimming animation. Oh, oh, oh. Oh-wee. Oh-wee. It's like that one SpongeBob scene. Oh. Alright, wait 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. Alright, now let us go and we'll continue on now. You know what I forgot to do? My brain just decided to forget what that was. I was going to say, what do you call it? I always forget to turn on, what do you call it, episode music. That's something that I need to remember, I tell you. I always forget. There we go. There, and then, oop, there. That is actually not looking too bad at all. Luckily, I do, in fact, have my stone shulker on me. So I can use that for when I need a little bit more stone that I will need in a second or two. And this is a dock area. This is actually looking quite nice, actually. This is actually looking quite nice. Like, that's looking a lot better. You're telling me all I needed to do was just, you know, fix this dock a bit like this, and it would look this nice? I feel like you would lie to me, you know. That's what I felt like. If that was, you know, the case. If you told me that I had to just do that, and it would look a little bit nicer, I feel like you would be lying. This is actually not looking too bad at all, if you're thinking about it. It just needs the andesite and the cracked variant and the mossy variant put in, so it's just not, you know, one, you know, grey consistently. I just need to figure out what I'm doing for the docks here for the wood. I could go with dark oak wood. It's a nice wood. I do plan on doing that, you know, edge, you know, being more soaked. But when I'm thinking about it, I don't think it would look so nice. So I'm actually thinking about changing it to something else. Something that's darker, but not too dark. I guess spruce would be the best choice, the wood I'm already using. I guess so. I guess so. I guess that would be the best choice if I'm being honest. Alright. Let's get to the deconstructing process. I was like wondering, like, for this, you know, split a second, why is it not chopping through this, you know, smooth stone. I'm too like old. I keep thinking, you know, you have to use an axe to break slabs and stairs. No wait, pickaxe. That's... You know what I meant. You know what I meant. And then I'll just break all of this here. There we go. This is actually not looking too bad at all. You can kinda actually see the original coastline. Kinda. That's what I'm going to say. Kinda. Sorry, I was just fixing my throat there. But I will say, when I originally came up with this area, it did not look anything like it. Do you want to mess with me? Yeah, yeah. It did not look anything like this, you know, my original idea for this area. My original idea for this area basically kind of came from, like, you know, an idea that I saw, and I thought, you know what, it could be nice to do a dock in my world, and so that's how we got this dock here. And it's not 100% the best docks, that's what I will say. It does need a lot of work, but that is why we're here today, to do said work. And that is starting with part 1 of this project, being this dock area being refixed and it's shaping. And let me just remove that. I won't remove that entire step bit there because I do need to get back up. But when I originally came up with this, you know, I thought, you know what, I need to work on the docks, and so, you know what, I'll probably just split it into, like, you know, a few parts of what I would want to do. But it might actually be over a few parts long, those certain parts of the project, because this is taking forever. And we're already at the 32-minute mark, I mean, and that's the end of the episode. We did not get far this episode, I tell you. Do not worry, gang, do not worry. I will see you next episode for the next length of this project. That being fixing all of this and then turning it into the Redwood, and then also doing the fencing around here. I'm actually thinking about bringing the fencing idea that I had for this little bit here up on this bit here. And I do actually think that would look tremendously better if I did do that. Because what it looks like now kind of looks a little bit too bland. Kind of like spaghetti without tomato sauce. It just looks bland, if I'm being honest. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, stay safe, Alright, have a nice day, stay safe, maybe some other shows I need to keep the vitamins, very important. Everybody, thanks for everybody,